In this episode, I have some news hot off the presses about the second part of the ranked reward changes that recently went into effect. If you're interested in the details on the new reward shop, please stand by. Hey all you Splinterheads, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here, bringing you a Splinterlands update. Well, we've got about a week left in this season, counting down towards April 2nd. And there's a lot of changes going to go into play in Splinterlands, the game, on that day, Tuesday of next week. So today, Matt released a informational post on Peak D, and that's what we're going to be going over. Obviously, we talked about this kind of with not full details like a couple weeks ago, and over that time, we've talked a little bit about the changes that are going into effect. Obviously, the first part of the changes went into effect already, but now we were waiting on what is in effect the changeover to Glint and the reward shop, and that's what we're going to go over today, and that will go into place on April 2nd. So I will, as always, leave the link to this article in the show notes. If I would encourage you to go ahead and read through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to try to pull out the highlights of it to bring those to the top. Okay, so as we know, this is the second part of the ranked battle overhaul, and as I said, this is expected to be released on Tuesday, April 2nd, which is 1 week from today. Reward point system will change over to a new token called Glint. The Glint token will be non-transferable, and the formula for earning Glint tokens from the ranked battle wins will be very similar to the current formula for earning reward points. Now, notice that they say very similar, not the same. And they go on to say, which is primarily based on the player's current rating and then adjusted based on various modifiers and bonuses, such as the type of cards used in the battle, guild building level, and staked SPS balance, among other things. And additionally, if you were paying attention the last day or two, they also had released an article where if you are playing in Modern, you will get a 50% bonus to Glint. They're trying to encourage people to go ahead and make that change over into Modern, or if you're in Modern slugging it out and hitting your head against the wall or thinking about going back to Wild, then they're trying to encourage you and give you a little bit extra bonus to go ahead and stay. Players will also no longer earn loot chests, which we've talked about, containing random rewards. Instead, the Glint token can be used to purchase a selection of different items in a new reward shop, which they've talked about in the past, but hadn't put any details in. And obviously, this gives you much more control over what you actually get with your points. So at the end of each ranked play season, instead of loot chests, players will earn a significant Glint bonus based on their final rating at the end of the season. So this was a new takeaway for me. So you're going to get Glint for each win, on your regular basis, but you're also going to get a bonus at the end of the season as far as, equal in some way to where you place on the leaderboard. Okay, so or not place, but your rating. So please note that the daily focus system will be removed, as we discussed before. And they go on to say would prefer that players focus on selecting the best cards for winning instead of going on focus cards. And they also say they plan to implement a new system in the future that better achieves the goals of encouraging players to play more often, try new cards, and explore new areas of the product. I think the focus system originally was kind of meant to encourage people to play cards outside of what they usually play. Because whenever I first started playing, this would have been about 2.5, 3 years ago, there was just a few different hands, and most people who were scoring high, like Lamacron and stuff like that, there was a few different cards that you always saw used repeatedly, and the focus system kind of encouraged people to earn extra points for going outside of that and coming up with new strategies and everything. Anyway, they're reworking the system, and the current system is going away. Now, they go on to talk about the reward shop, and this is where we're going to get the juicy details about what's going to be available in the reward shop. Okay, so the new section will be added to the shop where you go to buy cards and such within the Splinterlands website, where players can spend their glint tokens. The initial set of items that are planned to appear in the reward are listed below. However, they also say that they're looking at this as a rotating basis kind of thing. They want to rotate prizes in and out of the shop so that you can save your glint and spend it where you see applicable things that you want to strengthen your hand overall, your collection overall. And they do make a note here that please note that the spending the glint in the reward shop will require the posting key as part of the normal course of play. Okay. Now, next section says Soulbound reward card draws. Now, this is the new, as it were, chest kind of thing that you can purchase within the shop. Okay. The primary items available in the reward shop will be 5 different levels of what we are calling draws that will grant the purchaser a random card from the current Soulbound reward card set. They will be very similar to the old loot chests, except for they will only have reward cards and no other type of rewards. So you're going to buy draws, and you can buy them on various levels depending upon what you're focusing on, strengthening up in your collection. The more expensive draws will have higher chances of receiving higher rarity and gold foil cards, as well as higher chances of receiving more copies of the card, just as the different loot chest tiers have in the past. One major difference between the reward shop draws and the previous loot chest is that now players can choose which level of draw they want to purchase. Lower rated players can save their glint in order to purchase some more expensive draws to get higher chances of legendary, epic, and gold foils, and higher rated players can purchase large quantities of cheaper draws if they prefer to get more common and rare cards. So they're basically calling out 2 different ways to look at this, right? So if you're focusing on maxing out your lower level rares and commons, then you can buy a lot of these draws and flesh out your collection and max out your cards a lot faster. Or obviously you can save up and buy the more expensive rare cards once you get to those. So keep in mind that in addition to saving up glint to purchase more expensive draws, players may also choose to save up their glint until the next set of Soulbound reward cards is released, currently expected this summer. So nice thing there. If you are pretty well set for your current Soulbound reward card selection, you can just start saving. And just pick and choose what you want to, level up until the next set is released. Obviously, TBD, right? The full details of each draw, including price and chances of different card rarity, foils, and quantities, will be available on the reward shop page when it is released, which is good, which is kind of a standard thing that needs to be released with loot box type things, which this is. And I understand it's not for sale for, real money, but it's still a good thing to know what your percentage chances of in a loot box is, right? So you can comparison, you can compare the different rarities and see what you want to spend your glint on. So let's see here. Please note that players will still be able to claim reward chests from previous seasons' focuses for a time after this update goes live. However, that ability will be eventually phased out and any unclaimed chests will be lost. So get your chests after this season ends. This will be the last season with chests. Go ahead and collect them as soon as possible. If you have multiple accounts, remember to log in and collect them all, because at some point, if you don't collect them, they'll be gone. Don't be that person that tries to save them up and do some save them. You'll lose them, right? So now on to these are some of the other items that can be bought in the store. Merits. Players will be able to use glint to purchase merits in the reward shop, which can be used to purchase guild items like Gladius packs. Now, here's another thing that I want to call out. I forget where they said, but basically, the more you buy, the more expensive these will become. Okay, here's an example. Merits will be offered in batches of 200, and like the reward card draws, the price will increase from 50% for each 10 batches of merits purchased with glint during a ranked season play. So I had skipped over that, and I guess, here it is. I want to highlight that. Sorry about this. I want to go back and highlight this because the cost goes up, and this is basically to keep people, I think, from spam buying, tons and tons of cards. Okay, so let me highlight this. Additionally, the cost in glint of each tier of draw will increase by 50% for each 10 that are purchased by an individual player during a ranked play season. This helps limit the total amount of reward cards that are awarded each season and also allows the lower tier draws to be reasonably priced without allowing high-ranked players to buy ridiculous amounts of them. So what this means is you buy 10 of the draws, right? And say, for instance, each draw, just for the sake of round numbers, costs 100 glint. Okay, so that's 1,000 glint. Now, after you go past the first 10, they increase by 50%. Okay, so at that 11th one, instead of costing 100 glint, will cost you 150. So basically, the first 10 will cost you 1,000, and then the second tier, the second set of 10 will cost you 1,500. So it increases to prevent people from just buying, like it says, ridiculous amounts. Now, I don't know if that's exponential or if it's just a solid 50% each time. So remains to be seen. Either way, it gets more expensive. Now, same thing with merits. Okay, the example here is, just to give an example. Okay, so it takes 2,000 merits to buy a Gladius pack, right? A Gladius case. So if you bought a Gladius case, merits will be offered. So that's 10 batches of 200, right? Then if you wanted to buy another Gladius case, that Gladius case would cost you 50% more in glint. Okay. So basically the idea is to, not spend all your glint at one time unless you're going to buy one of these high-end titles or something, which I'll get to here in a minute. Now, another item that you can get in the new store will be energy and potions if you so need. Glint will now be able to be used to purchase energy and potions. The cost for energy will be determined by the player's current rating, as is usual. It goes up as you go in rating, and will increase for every 25 energy purchased each day like normal. So once again, after you hit that 25 energy purchase per day, then the cost starts going up. Potions, both legendary and alchemy, are planned to have a fixed cost in glint, which is not planned to increase. So if you need some potions, you can spend some glint for those. Now, here's the big one. Limited edition titles for the big fish, right? Finally, we plan to offer 3 limited edition in-game titles as part of the initial reward shop that are geared towards high-rated players who may already have the reward cards that they need and want to save up their glint for a larger purchase. Initially, these titles will be the only transferable items that will be available to purchase with glint, which we talked about in another video. There's planned to be 1 rare title, 1 epic title, and 1 legendary title available, each with limited quantity. Each account may only purchase 1 copy of each title from the reward shop using glint, and once they are all purchased, those titles will no longer be available except through the peer-to-peer market. And as they usually say, the full details, including the titles themselves, the cost, and the available quantity, will be shown in the reward shop when it is released. I think this is a good thing to point out. I like the fact that they're putting your odds right there. Okay. And as they mentioned, future items, like I had talked about, they want to roll new items in and roll items out and kind of keep the store, keep it fresh, keep new things coming in. So it's a good idea in my opinion. Now, one of the big things, we talked about this before, was the SPS reward changes. So let's see what they have to say about this. We talked about it before, but some players may have noticed that one thing that was previously available in loot chests, which is not part of the new rewards shop, is the SPS token. Ding, 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 ding. One of the main considerations when designing the reward shop was that players would only be able to use glint to purchase soulbound items that allow them to improve their account in-game rather than to purchase transferable items that can be sold to extract value from the ecosystem. Oh, God forbid we make some money off the game we put thousands of dollars into. Therefore, as part of this update, the SPS token reward pool that were previously allocated to season and daily focused loot chests will be moved into the rank battle rewards pools for wild and modern format. This means that the amount of SPS received from each ranked battle win should increase significantly starting in the next ranked play season. So overall, we're losing SPS in the chest, but your per win should go up. So how much that goes up, who knows? Obviously, if you're in Modern, it will go up. You'll be getting more compared to in Wild. We've talked about that. Now, last but not least, the burning of soulbound cards. As part of the update, soulbound reward cards will now be able to be burned for glint at a rate of 10x the card's collection power, and gladiator cards will no longer be able to be burned for DEC, but instead for merits at a 1-to-1 rate. And if you watch my last video from yesterday, you saw me burning some gold Gladius cards, and there's been several other content creators that have done it before me, so it wasn't my idea. But you still have a short window of opportunity, another week, if you want to burn off some gold Gladius cards and get yourself some sweet DEC and then do something else with it. That is an option. Although I will tell you this, be very careful if you're on Hive Engine and trying to do a swap, because I still have about $20 worth of DEC I was trying to swap for SPS that is in the ether, waiting for a ticket to get back and get that fixed. But just a note on that, but that change is going into effect. But they also point out that this effectively creates a dust system similar to those present in other trading card games, where players can burn unwanted soulbound cards in order to purchase more soulbound cards to try and get the cards they want, or to purchase other items in the reward or guild shops. And we've talked about this in other games, like Splinter Forge comes to real mind to my mind, where burn stuff you don't want, try to get new stuff. It's just kind of like this rolling. It gets rid of a lot of cards out of the ecosystem, and it's just a rolling gambling thing. So either way, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope this information has been useful. Drop in the comments what you think about these new updates. Let me know what you feel. Either way, I hope you and your family are happy and healthy on your side, and I will see you on the flip side.